Good morning, friends. We will start DC machine theory in shorts. DC machine we use a commutator. In induction motor we use slip rings, and in DC machine we use a commutator. Because of commutator, the size of DC machine increases. We can identify DC machine based on commutator. In generator, commutator function is a mechanical rectifier as it converts AC to DC, and in motor it converts DC into AC. It works as a mechanical inverter. Function of a commutator. It maintains rotor poles stationary with respect to stator for the production of unidirectional torque. DC machine is nothing but a AC machine with a commutator. Now, to any self-excited motor, production with AC supply, operation with AC supply is possible, but the performance is bad. To separately excited motor, operation with AC supply is not possible. In DC motor, the ripples from output of DC generator can be removed by connecting more number of coils in series and by making air gap flux distribution flat tap. We can achieve our goal of air gap flux distribution flat tap by using arc shaped pole shoes. In DC machine, pole shoe cover 70 to 90% of the pole pitch, and the ratio of pole arc to pole pitch is equal to 0.7 to 0.9. Pole shoes are attached to pole core by means of countersunk screws. In DC machine, we use arc-shaped pole shoes to make air gap flux distribution flat tap, and in synchronous machine, we use chamfered pole shoes for sinusoidal flux distribution. In DC machine, field winding is concentrated, and in field poles are salient or projected poles. Here, number of field coils are equal to number of poles, and field winding always carries DC supply. The rating of field winding is 1% of the rating of the machine, so that we can say in DC generator we supply 1% to the field winding and we get 100% DC output, so that we can say DC generator is a mechanical amplifier. Let's see the cross sectional area of the DC shunt field winding, and in series motor series field winding cross sectional area. The cross sectional area in shunt field winding is less as compared to cross sectional area of field winding in series motor because of the resistance of series field winding is very less comparatively of DC shunt motors field winding, because DC series in DC series motor, field winding carries current equal to armature current, and in DC shunt motor, field winding carries less current, that is field current. That's why resistance of shunt field winding in DC shunt motor is 100 ohm to 250 ohm, and series field winding resistance in DC series motor is 0.1 ohm to 1 ohm. Armature resistance is 0.1 ohm to 1 ohm. In DC shunt machine, we use more number of turns of thin wire because it carries less current, and DC series machine we use less number of turns of thick wire as it carries high current. The material used for commutator is hard drawn copper, and in slip rings we use phosphor bronze. The material for brushes is copper and carbon. For high current and low voltage application we use copper brush, and for low current high voltage application we use carbon brush. In large machines, metal graphite or electrographite is used. Let's see different types of winding. There are two types of windings: concentrated winding and distributed winding. All field windings or field winding of DC machine, field winding of silent pole synchronous machine, including primary and secondary of transformer, all windings are concentrated windings. Armature of armature winding of DC machine, armature winding of synchronous machine, armature winding of induction motor, that is rotor winding of slip ring induction motor, are distributed windings. There is another classification, that is closed type of winding and open type of winding. All commutator machines, DC commutator machine, AC commutator machine, we use closed type of winding, and induction motor and synchronous machine we use open type of winding. Depending upon the layers, there are two types of windings: single layer winding and double layer winding. In small AC machine up to 5 HP or 5 kVA, we use single layer winding, and these windings are open type of windings. In all DC machines and large AC machines, we use double layer winding. These winding may be open or closed type of winding. In single layer winding, per slot only one conductor is there. In double layer, it may be two or more than two. Thank you. Let's see